Hey there, fellow SimCity 4 enthusiasts. So, yep, here's the online city region. I actually am just rendering the last video I recorded right now, and I just decided to go ahead and record the next one right away. So things might be slightly choppy because of that, but hopefully it will be barely noticeable, if at all. Anyway, the last video, if you haven't checked it out yet, that was an hour's worth of city tours for both my cities and everybody else's as well. In fact, I pretty much checked out every single developed city tile in the region, so yeah, you should definitely give that a look if you are interested to see where things are heading, and I will definitely be recording similar videos to that in the future, as there is more progress to showcase. So anyway, today I wanted to finally get around to actually building some of the stuff in Manzanita, because I started the city tile before, but yeah, I pretty much just built the interchange and almost nothing else. So one change that's immediately apparent is further south, I decided to make this road into a 6-lane one. So I really want that to be the same on both sides of the border. So I'm going to go ahead and build my neighbor connecting piece right now. And I'm going to have to place a starter as well. Alright. Yep, that's the very last puzzle piece right there. And let's see if I can't find the starter. Alright, it's also the last one here. So I'll put this back a little bit. I'll drag out, and hopefully this is enough space to keep some kind of an override. And yep, so I'm gonna just get rid of this avenue intersection right here, because it was really a placeholder in the first place, as you can see by what happens on its northern edge. So let me continue this through really quick. And I'm just going to get rid of those so that everything will work nice and smoothly. Alright, there we go. Everything is the network it's supposed to be. So I'm going to keep the turning lanes the same size as they were, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now further north, I also have, in my last video, I mentioned that I was planning to upgrade this road here into an avenue. So frankly, I might as well start out by doing that. And I guess the first area I will be developing in the city tile in order to justify the infrastructure expansion will be the area on this island over here, which visually connects to an already developed area in Astoria, as well as a heavily developed parts of Baltisia and Pembleton, coast-runner cities. So yeah, that is, I think, what I'm going to be doing. But I will start the road from the southern side as opposed to the northern one. Okay, so basically, well, I gotta think for a minute here. How am I gonna do this? I think I'm probably going to have another major north-south road here, so I'm not going to worry too much about having this avenue have the possibility to have too many intersections too close to this major one here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to start out, yeah, thinking in progress. Yeah, I definitely want to make the curves fit into the footprint of the existing road as much as possible, I think. So that's kind of the guiding principle that I'll go with for now. Alright, so I can probably stand to build that there. Some of this stuff, and then I'll have to do the same thing for all the other three sides as well. And, yep, that looks right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, I don't know what I said whoop, whoop, whoop for. I have a bad habit of saying that in kind of random situations a lot recently. No idea what it means even. I guess it's just my form of baby talk or something. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this actually looks kind of screwy. There's no visual sort of path connection between the turning lanes and the left turn paths that are marked in the intersection, so... Alright, I'm going to give it one more quick try, see if there's another version. Nope, it's really just the one intersection. Yep, and it doesn't change. Okay, so it's just cosmetically, it's a very unfinished looking puzzle piece. That's for sure. So over here, I know I said I wanted to curve it as soon as possible, but I do think that I can probably stand to have a short road 2 in this area. Yeah. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and build that. And it's going to force me to get rid of a number of turn lanes. Or not get rid of a number of turn lanes, but to build relatively short turn lanes. And I'm fine with that, honestly. Just as long as... yeah, that should be just fine. So I don't think I actually want to intersect until up here. So that my turn lanes don't look too ridiculously small. And yeah, this is really cutting it close on the amount of space I'm going to have to make all the curves I want to. But yeah, I think it'll work. I don't see why it shouldn't, right? If it won't work, well, you'll discover with me. That's part of this game, you know, SimCity 4. It's all trial and error. That's how everybody plays, even the experts. As I'm sure you could tell by watching any of the videos from the experts. Which hopefully you should do if you enjoy this channel. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty bad. Gonna have to put it, looks like the road studs were kind of overridden by the fact that there was already some Av6 over there. Yeah, this is a very old puzzle piece compared to a lot of the newer wake transitions out there in the NAM, and yeah, it really shows. Okay, yeah, that works just fine now, and now I can safely put on in my 2 LEPs. So I'm going to want a little turn lane like that, and that, and that. Perfect. And we'll do the same over here, like so. Alright, beautiful. There's not going to be any nice looking median around here, but I don't think I even have a median mod for Av6 installed right now. So, you know, no big loss. I usually build TLA 7s anyway, that's kind of more my style. Alright, so over here I was kind of thinking this road 2 would probably look best as a TLA 3 since it's probably going to get a lot of traffic if the capacities of the road it's nearby are predictive at all of what's going to go there in the future. So yeah, there's that to think about. Now over here, I'm kind of tempted honestly to fit another, what's it called? To fit another 2-left intersection there, but I don't know. Anyway, the more I look at this, the more it seems a little bit implausible that I'll be able to build all the curves I want without moving the alignment of this avenue a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten it on this peninsula a little bit, since there was no particular reason for having this fractional angle curve here in the first place. Alright. Yeah, so the avenue will stretch around here, and hold up, let me take a closer look at how this is working. What path is it going to follow here? This is going to be kind of a long bridge across there, and yeah, it's going to be another long bridge over there. But you know what? It's not going to be all that much longer than the bridge complex that already existed in the same spot. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and build it right now. Now, one thing I probably should do is level this terrain leading up to the bridge approach, and I can easily expand this too. Yeah, just like that. And yeah, I want this to be a relatively low bridge, so I'm not going to use any ground raisers or anything like that. Now over here, I guess I'll have the bridge make landfall here, even though, yeah, it looks like the old bridge did that too, so should be no issue. So let's see how this cooperates. Alright, it looks just about perfect. So let's get our plain avenue bridge into place, and hey, it looks just natural, I think. It's not too low at all. So yeah, one difference is it's going to be straight now, instead of curving on this little island. So yeah, I guess that's going to work. And I do feel kind of sad about losing the curves, but then, you know, this is supposed to be a higher capacity road, right? So it really makes sense that we would try to sort of smoothen the path as much as possible in order to increase travel speeds. Can I build there? Yeah, perfect. Alright, yeah, this looks good. Looks solid. So let me just build it over. And wait a minute, I have to build the bridge approach on this side too. I almost completely forgot about that. So let me expand it the whole way, because the terrain looks a little bit uneven around here. So here, let me just get this tool really quick. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Alright, and that looks completely flat. So that is good for a bridge. So let's build it on across. And it looks like I can't from that side, but can I from this? No. Alright, one more try. Alright. It's gotta work from here though, right? No? No? Oh, you know what I think the problem is this area is just a little bit too low. So the bridge is having trouble passing over it. Or I mean a little bit too high, since the bridge is very low. So if I lower it like that, should I be able to... yeah, I don't know. You know what? I am just gonna take the coward's way out, and I'm gonna change this little island up a bit. Let me see if I can do this elegantly using the planes tool. I do have my doubts. It's not a tool I use very often. Yeah, this is looking a little bit ugly, to be honest. Oh, that's a little bit better. And yeah, it doesn't look like it quite did as well as I would have liked with flattening the area. So I'm just going to use my quick level brush to sort of clean away some of the remnants of the old terrain. And it looks like whoever originally built the terrain in this style, I wasn't the one who built it, whoever did, wasn't really using the quick level brush for a lot of this stuff. Well, actually, In the case of this tile, I think that it was built in terraformers, so that's a little bit different. Okay, well I can live with this, I think. So let's get our Plain Avenue bridge again, and bingo. It's one tile further than I would like. Let's see what it looks like when the trucks finish paving it over. If it looks too dirty, I might just try to fix this, honestly. Oh no, it looks just fine. It looks like a continuation of the bridge. Alright, yeah, that's what I wanted. So, yeah, I still want to have this intersection here. So I'm going to want to leave room in the curve I build for tulips there. And yeah, I'm not going to have room for a very smooth curve at all here. So, you know what? Since that's the case, I don't know, I'm going to try to build a smooth curve, and if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. So let's go to our curves. Get the Avenue 90. Yeah, I'm going to keep this as a very tight turn lane, I think, just because that's all there's room for. And nobody should complain too much. Alright, and this will continue on over here. And whoa, it looks like I really do have space. Man, the Lord is merciful today. Well, that's kind of a stupid thing to say, but hey. I was surprised that that actually worked. So I can actually expand this a bit and have one more tile of turn lane, which I will appreciate definitely. Oof, and I love these trees that come on the ploppable Avenue 90 degree curve. Shame that there's not so many situations where it's really useful to use the ploppable curves over the, what's it called, over, why am I blanking here? Oh yeah, over the flex curve, at least for the 45. I'm going to get rid of some trees here so I can see what I'm doing. Alright. Beautiful. So this is going to be the main connection to Pembleton from Manzanita. And obviously if you're coming from the other direction, or if you're going a long distance, you'll probably take the freeway and just drive through a bunch of traffic lights in Baltija. But yeah, this works pretty well. So I did say that I wanted to make a TLA 3 around here, so I might as well get that in motion. I'm going to build it at least out that far, and like so. And then for over here, I really do kind of like the effect of a curving road coming close to the interchange here. So I think I'm going to try to preserve that look. Might be kind of tough to pull it off though, honestly. Here, let me see. Can I do it with FAR2? No, not quite. Not unless I get rid of this a little bit further back than I would like to. So what if I were to do like that? Oh yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit further away from the ramp, which I suppose is probably a good thing since there's no Jersey barrier or anything like that to prevent people from kind of drifting out of their lane into oncoming traffic. Well, it wouldn't be that easy because, you know, you'd have to drive over the whole shoulder too, so you'd have to kind of be asleep, but people do that. In fact, my car's been hit while it's parked and legally parked on a wide street, not that, There are definitely some crazy people out there. So over here, I don't know how I feel about this. I think it works though, this curve. Yeah, maybe I can just have that road kind of connect like that. Yeah, I think that works fine, and it's kind of a nice throwback to the infrastructure that used to be in the same spot. So without further ado, I might as well get to building some tulips. Or actually, I've got to think about this. I don't know. I think I should figure out what I'm doing as far as some of my north-south roads first. I could probably use another avenue, to be honest, if I'm going to make this area very dense. But if anything, I'd be more tempted to put my avenue further toward this direction. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this for a minute. Over here, it'll be easy to get like a road or something. But it's going to be a really short turning lane if I want it to be a four-way intersection. You know, I'm just going to assume that I'm going to want a road there, and I'm going to build it for now. And maybe we could have the two roads kind of merging over here. Is there a single flat tile? Nah. Doesn't look like I'll be able to pull that off, unfortunately. Let's see. What's the neatest solution I could do over here then? I don't know. I really don't... I had a lot of trouble with this slope too, so I'm really not ready to demolish the RHW4 curve. I'm just going to go for it. Live dangerously, they say, right? Yeah. So I'll just have I guess I'll use this kind of curve, my 45-degree curve. So that's a bit more friendly with the whole zoning aspect of things. And hopefully this should be very easy to replace. Woo! Looks like it. Great. And yeah, even the filler fit in nicely. That doesn't always work so easily, so hey, that's good. Can't really build a roundabout here unless I demolish it again, which I don't think I want to do, so I'll just leave that off for now. And, yeah, I don't know, this is going to be kind of like a downtown area. That's why I'm building these arterial roads pretty close together. Alright, that's enough of that for now. I think I'm going to get to building some tulips. Just the basic ones. So let's start out with the avenue stuff. Alright, just like that. And oh, that's road, not avenue. There we go, that's the intersection I want. So as far as this, I've got to kind of space things strategically a little bit. I think it's no issue though. I'll just have a slightly shorter turning lane for people going left onto this road, since it's a pretty indirect way to follow anyway. Don't know why you'd really be turning there unless you're going to an address that's directly on that road. So, yeah, let me, obviously there would need to be no turning lane here because it's a three-way intersection, so never mind. Let me see how much room I have here. Yeah, I'm gonna want to use the normal looking thing, or, you know, transition. Yeah, this one. Yeah, type A, that's right. And then I'm only going to want one T-end, just like that. And let's go forward, type A2, that's right. Let's get it facing the other way though. And type A1 blank. Perfect. Kind of hard to see what's going on with all these shadows. I usually don't play with them enabled. In fact, I probably should turn them off here in order to increase the frame rate and such, but I don't know. I feel like they add enough to the game to be sort of worth it. Alright, yeah, let's get to the T intersection, and yeah, that's right. Beautiful. So that looks pretty functional. What next? What next? I really did want to get started with some zoning. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. I said I would start zoning by working on the northwest quadrant of the city. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I haven't said anything to Coast Runner, but I'm going to also go ahead and upgrade this avenue here heading toward Pembleton, because I'm sure that he'll be able to make good use of it. And then this area over here, honestly, may be better served as a TLA 5. I don't know. I'll have to consider that. Meanwhile, I could probably stand to start expanding this road over toward where I want it to intersect. And will a diagonal intersection be good here? Yeah, I think so. I don't think that will cause any problems. Obviously the weak point of a diagonal intersection is it can't have any tulips. But, you know, it's cool to have a few of them at least. Yeah, I think that that's a pretty solid idea, all told. So then, otherwise, I kind of want to have one more main intersection on this road with a traffic light, just to make things a little bit safe, because I'm going to have a lot of people living out here probably. So I think that this road I might just transition it into a street after doing a bit of fractional angle curving maybe. Yeah, something like that. And then just continue that kind of like that. And it will be a pretty straight street. A lot of people will live off of it probably. And then, as for that intersection I was talking about, I'm kind of just choosing a place at random to build it, but I think it will do fine over here. And I'll go ahead and build the tulips while I'm still thinking about them, just because I know I have room right now at the very least. Alright, beautiful. That's right? No. There, that's right. Okay, so let's get our type A1 pieces. And over here as well. Beautiful. Alright, so now let's do the avenue part. And it's kind of ironic that the avenue turn lanes take a lot less space, because the transition is smaller, and it's the only transition, so there's no option to make the overall size match, but hey, such is life. I'm not really complaining either, you know. It's pretty functional as is. Yeah, so that seems like a pretty solid bet, honestly. And I might just do something a little bit like that on this side. Just have the road continue to a freeway street intersection and then kind of end. Okay, and that's going to be the only through intersection around here. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it to half intersections with streets. Maybe I could have one around here, say. Seems like a natural spot, what with the road line ending there. And another straight one around there. Then, yeah, I think that I'm going to try to avoid having more than a couple zones directly on this avenue. I'll probably have like some corner stores type stuff, you know, like here, right there, maybe there. And obviously if I build that, those stores will probably need parking. So I'll go and plop a little bit of that as well. No, and I'll likely have bus stops along the avenue too. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep from zoning any houses along it though, I think. So yeah, a 3x2 would probably look decent around here. Yeah, perfect. Maybe another one over toward this side of things. That'll work. Don't want to overdo the parking. Okay. And you know what, while I'm in this part of the menu, I'll just take care of the bus stops right away. Alright, that works. Yeah, so I don't know. How am I going to do this? Maybe have some pretty tight gridded type stuff going on? I can see that. Something like this maybe. Just have this street go parallel to the avenue, and then I'll have zones along it with one free tile to plant trees all along the sides of the avenue, so it'll be nice and tree lined. And over here, I think I'm going to continue this road back on into it at an intersection there. And if people want to live around this area, I guess they are going to have to follow a branching road, which will be pretty easy to build. Oops, that didn't really work though. Alright, yeah, that works. Maybe something similar as well there with a little cul-de-sac. And over here I think I'm going to leave some more trees along the waterfront, just because it's nice to have those. So, where to from here? Another street around here I don't think would look too out of place, although I'm going to actually build it pretty close to the city tile border so that I can build zones right up to the edge. And I might just branch this road into that other one in order to make for slightly more efficient access from both directions. I don't know. Maybe a little diagonal cul-de-sac over here? Yeah, that works. And something a little like that, I guess. Actually, I'm going to build a tile further down. Perfect. Alright, so that's a decent start on the road network for this area. Now over here, probably stand to build a little intersection like that. And that is probably rock solid, to be honest. Over here, I again think I'm going to just leave the trees as they are. Yeah, no industrial stuff going in this area, I don't think. Actually, let me go to the region view really quick and check to see if that would look appropriate. Alright, so I don't think that it's necessarily the best idea to put a bunch of heavy industry right around here. I don't think it would look too in place very much. Especially because if I would really build industry anywhere within a 2-mile radius of this area, it would probably be around here as opposed to here. Or further south, honestly, on the southern side of this highway, maybe toward the west of this tile. I really don't know. I still have to decide that. But anyway, a lot of it depends on what I end up doing with this rail line that comes into Manzanita from Cranston. So what I was thinking of doing was just kind of ending it in Manzanita, but the more I think about it, the more I think that, you know, Coast Runner over here could really probably use an extra rail connection that actually connects to his largest city, in addition to the one in Baltija. So I think I'm actually going to go into Pembleton and leave him a little sign asking if he's interested in me building something like that. So here we are, glorious downtown Pembleton. Now let's go down the avenue and across the bridge a little bit. You can see where my avenue is going to meet up to his bridge pretty soon. And that neighbor connection looks kind of derpy on this side, so I'm going to rebuild that really quick. I'm just doing you a favor here, man. Nah, not really. It just loses the arrow when it has to demolish a couple tiles of farm like it did there. So, you know, no big loss. Anyway, I think I was going to build the rail here. Let me just flatten this terrain out a tiny bit beforehand, because I do want it to fit nicely. Yeah, let's see if I can find the highest terrain elevation around here. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it from there. Is this it? No, that's even lower. Shit. There's got to be some way to do this right. Maybe if I do like that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, that definitely did it. Great. Just make the tool a little bit bigger and just flatten things out. And yes, I realize I'm demolishing some of your farm here. Sorry! I just told Coast Runner about my YouTube channel earlier today too, so he'll probably be watching this going like, WTF, dude. But anyway, here is what I was planning on doing. Yeah, so if I were to build a railroad connection, it would be on that tile, I think. And let's just stick a quick starter in there, because I do like to build STR, but he doesn't really, so I'm just going to transition it to STR on my side. So over here, let's replace the trees I had to get rid of. I can use a bigger tool than that though. I think that this farm is pretty much friendly with the tree brush. Yeah, it is, so I can just use the biggest tool that I can get at the student level. Alright, so what I was thinking of doing is, I'll just place a quick sign over here saying, hey, Coast Runner, you interested in, that's kind of long. you want a rail connection to go through Manzanita. Well, looks like I'm going to need 3 signs. This is definitely more of an art than a science, building these signs, and sometimes you just have to start all over. So I'll start from here. A coast runner. You want a rail going through Manzanita to connect here and here. Or wait a minute. I'm not saying this the best way. Let me just be super explicit about what I mean. You want me to whoops. Let me see if I can select the right sign. Build a railway through Manzanita. Whoops. I have to backspace. You can't really use the arrow keys to this. To connect here. Alright. Yeah. Jambia, by the way, if you haven't grasped it by now, it's the name I use on Reddit, so it's the name I'm using for this region. Yeah, Funk00, that's the name that I've been using since literally, what was it, 2002. Yeah, that's a long-ass time ago. So, I don't really use it for everything anymore, even though I have a ton of accounts that still use that name. So that's sort of it. I'm just gonna save and exit. And I just saw I just heard the little ding. That means that there was a new message in the TeamSpeak chat room, so as soon as this save finishes, I think I'm gonna pause the recording and I'm gonna go see what's up with that, because it might be Coast Runner saying that I just loaded up my tile. Don't save anything near it. Yeah. Anyway. So I will meet you back in Manzanita after I figure that out. Okay, so as far as what to do next, that was actually Coast Runner on the TeamSpeak. I kind of called it there. And sure enough, he wants to work in his tile, so I just gave him the most recent version of the tile that I was working with, so he should see that sign right away. And maybe he'll be replying to it in TeamSpeak, or maybe he'll find another way. Anyway, so for the rest of this area, I really just want to do kind of a mishmash of dendritic roads. So I think I should designate a couple main streets first before I sort of get ahead of myself. Maybe one that branches off of this road here. And that could honestly connect straight all the way to this one, which connects the avenue. So people have a couple options if they're going there. And another one that connects to this street at a bit of a more friendly angle for people who are traveling southwestbound on the Road 2. So I'm going to just build a quick curve over here. And let me turn the time back to midday in order to maximize the amount of light that we have. Yeah, one thing I've never really understood or enjoyed too much about SimCity 4 is the nighttime shots. I just never really enjoyed them too much. I always prefer more modern games like Cities XL for something like that. Maybe honestly it's the fact that I've never that I didn't install the Dark Knight mod when I first started playing SC4. And actually this region uses Dark Knight, but for my own personal plugins folder I have way too many buildings that I downloaded the non-Dark Knight version 4, so it would be a huge pain involving re-downloading a ton of stuff if I actually wanted to switch back. Or not switch back, but switch over to Dark Knight. So I don't know, I sort of doubt that I will ever do it at this point. Especially because, I mean, you know, I look at a lot of city journals and they have these very artistic night shots, and my main thought is always, why couldn't you just have done the shot during the day? Why are you showing me this nighttime stuff? So that's just kind of how I feel about it. I know that a lot of people don't share that opinion, but, you know, it's just how it is. Alright, so I'm just, as I'm talking, trying to get a bit of a start on developing some of the dendritic roads I was talking about around here. Let's see how many tiles I have here. It looks like perfect. It looks like I have exactly 9 tiles between these streets. That was not on purpose, but I really might as well say it was, because it worked perfectly. And I'll just do something a little bit abstract over here with a diagonal street. Maybe have it continue into some form of diagonal cul-de-sac. Just having these diagonal lines, it does quite a lot to reduce uniformity in these areas. Yeah. Since if it's all straight lines, you know, in region view, it kind of all blends together. Okay, so I'm going to need some more roads along the back layer of this area. Oof, this is too close. Maybe I could do something like this for here. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then, I don't know, I'm kind of forgetting what I did on the southern side of this road on the other side of the neighbor connection. It's probably more residential zones, if I had to guess. I'm also very tempted to just leave this as kind of a park area, this diagonal slice of land over here. So let me just replace the trees there, and I think that's just what it's going to be. Alright. So now, don't want to add more intersections to this road too, because I don't want it to become too overburdened. So I'll just add a little something more here. And yeah, that's 6 tiles away from the next road, and it has a nice 3 to the city tile border, so that's a pretty good set, honestly, for zoning a lot of stuff. And I'll just continue some random roads to improve access and give a little bit more space for smaller buildings to be zoned. Okay, now over here, I might as well continue this just a little bit differently. Is this solid 4 tiles and then 1? Yes. So I'm honestly kind of tempted to just draw a street that goes along the edge of the tile border like that. And that should be just fine so long as I don't go and build an identical street on the other side of the border. And it will visually connect with any cul-de-sacs that I build on the other side. All the way up to the edge. For instance, like the one I'm building right there. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Now I've got to think about what street I want to continue out of this. It looks like this is the longest one, so I'll make it even longer. And then this is going to go branch into that edge road, I think. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, perfect. Now, I would really like to have a higher degree of curvature around this side of things. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe curve this right back around in a circle. Not a circle, but, you know, a big U-turn. And then maybe it can do a little 45-degree curve, S-curve, over to this street. That'll work. I'm not going to complain about that. So I probably want a few new connections from the main avenue to this side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and build two, including a cul-de-sac right there. Maybe another matching one next to it, honestly. Why not, right? Actually, over here, it'd be pretty easy to just do another curving road. Yeah, like that. That should be no problem at all, if you ask me. And then maybe the second connection to the main avenue I will have right there. So I'm actually going to move this back to tile in order to have more room for zones between those two roads. And that creates kind of a visual continuity between this road and that one, so I like that. It'll work. Now maybe over here, yeah, just one last cul-de-sac. Perfect. And up here, I've got, yeah, it looks like just the perfect amount of space to have one more little loop road. So I'll go ahead and build that. And yeah, that should about cover it for roads in this area, honestly. Now, as far as what I should do next, usually I just go ahead and do the zoning. But today I'm kind of feeling like I want to take care of the bus stops first, because I always feel like a kind of a pain to put into place when I save them for last, and I forget them some of the time too. So bus stops are, of course, fairly well down this menu. They're below the on-street ones. There we go. So I was thinking, yeah, one right there and one right there already got taken care of. And as for farther over here, maybe one right there, one right there. And I don't think I'm going to have any development around this intersection. I like the idea of keeping it a nice wide treat area, so people aren't focusing on anything besides paying attention to traffic while they're driving around there. And then over here, maybe a bus stop here and one here. Yeah, that should cover it for ones on the main avenue. And then I do kind of want to have some that are serving, you know, these far off residential areas. So this looks like a natural spot for one. Over here, I don't think I need any more east of the avenue. Now over here, ooh, I definitely want some bus stops that are going to be alongside this road here. So I'll build one there and one there. And again, it seems like a good idea to keep them fairly close to the main roads. Maybe one around that intersection, and one over there around that intersection. And should I have one last one? Why not? Why not? It's going to be over here, though. And that should about cover it, if you ask me. So, yeah, I might as well get to zoning, and I'll probably build a couple parks for this area after that, and then we'll launch a development. So a cool first area to start to zone might as well be this Road 2 over at the neighbor connection. So I'm just going to cover it pretty much completely with residential zones, actually maybe a few corner stores, because why not? Yeah, right there. And further here as well would be a pretty good place for that, I think. Right there's probably enough though. Maybe a tiny one right there. It'll be a diner or something. And one right there. Nah, let's have it face the other way. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty solid for the commercial zoning along that road, I think. Otherwise, this area is going to be heavily residential. Coolio. Alright, so I can also have some zones facing that way on the same side of the road. Yeah, I know I can get kind of quiet when I'm zoning, which isn't the best for recording videos, but you know, it's a pretty necessary part of the game. And if I wasn't recording this, like, what would I record? Just building RHW 24/7? That gets boring to a lot of people too. Alright, so I'm not going to even bother leaving any God mode trees over on this side of things. I'm just going to fit the zones in as tightly as I can, pretty much. Over here, I think it's probably a pretty natural place for me to build some of these zones. Yeah, just like that. And we can have some more up here. Actually, over here, there's no reason to foreshorten that zone. There is kind of a reason to do it that one, though. Alright. Yeah, a lot of people are going to live here. So far, so good. Yeah, that'll work. Not that I would be building any of this if I thought it wouldn't work. I'm not really that funny, I shouldn't try to make jokes. Oh, you know what I was planning on doing here is having the zones back into within a tile of the main avenue, so I think I'm going to continue through with that plan. And over here I'm going to have them face this street instead of the road to there. I am going to put some fake zones there for the purpose of sidewalk extension. Yeah, I might as well do that on both sides, right? Just leave a bunch of trees around this central intersection. Alright. So then, obviously up here is a pretty natural spot for a little bit of residential zoning. I'm going to have one tiny corner store though. Oops. Maybe that'll work a little bit more elegantly if I build it like that. Simply here. Alright. And with that, I can just fill in this whole area with zones. Alright. So we're making some pretty rapid progress on this. There we go. Alright. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about building the road here, honestly. I usually do try to avoid building roads parallel and next to city tile borders, because they are, it's kind of hard to remember that they're there 100% of the time, and it's very easy to do just one thing wrong, and then it ends up looking like crap. But I don't know, I think it'll work this time. I have no reason to believe that it will necessarily screw up. So yeah, that looks solid for there. Get just a little bit more zoning in place. Like so. That was a lot of zones in one click. And like so. So then I can really afford to just do this. And like that. And put something over there. And something like that. All right. Now, I don't really see the value in having a single tile of empty space there, because it'll just look kind of weird. It won't be able to fit too many trees. If it was 2 tiles, that would be a different story. Like here's what I call a 2-tile gap. Well, it's obviously 2 tiles, but hey. Alright. Very close to finished with this whole area, it looks like, or at least the upper part. And then the lower part closer to the water. That will not take too long because it's much smaller. Just put a little something there. Little something here. Some bigger houses at the edge there, and smaller ones lining the rest of the street. Okay, so that's it for this part of the new neighborhood, right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So now it should be pretty trivial to fill out the rest. Yeah. Just gonna put zones all along this road here. This time I'm not gonna worry about leaving a tile, an empty tile around the road all the way to where it ends. It's not really something I consider too important. Alright, over here, it looks like I'm bringing the zones further down toward the water than elsewhere. In fact, it's pretty much certain that I'm either going to have to do a bunch of terraforming or demolish a ton of this stuff that I'm building right now if I actually do end up building that railway connection over to Pembleton. I don't know though, I'm not going to mind doing that. It'll be a fun little project, and I don't think it'll take too long. Yeah. I wouldn't have offered to do it if I didn't sort of relish the idea of projects like that. Yeah. I'm just loving this online region. It's so great to be able to share my love of SimCity 4 with other people besides on YouTube, obviously. Obviously, on YouTube, I've been doing that for a long time. Alright. Over here is looking pretty solid. Maybe a couple of tiny houses there. Probably get rid of the edge of those zones just to fit a couple more trees. Alright, yeah, that looks rock solid. Alright. Well, actually I don't need to do that. And boom, boom, boom. Alright, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So what do I have left? Oh yeah, cul-de-sac right there. Loop road to fill in over here. And get the zones along the connector road first though. And right there. Perfect. Okay. Maybe a couple more zones right there. Yeah, that'll be solid. Okay, so I think I'm going to actually take a break for a minute, and in a moment I will come back. It won't seem like a moment at all to you guys, of course, and get on building a park or two for this area, and then allowing the development to proceed and seeing what it looks like. Okay, I'm back. It looks like Coast Runner actually does want the rail connection that I proposed building over here in the end, so yeah, that's going to be a fair bit of work. Honestly, I recorded myself putting down the sign, so I might as well record myself building that too. But I don't think I'm going to get on that quite today. Nah, I've already played plenty of SimCity 4 today, I think. You've got to remember, I just recorded the last video with all of the city tours in basically the same run as this one. So it looks like I forgot to put in some zones over here, so that's easy to fix, thankfully. Oh, yeah, just like that. Maybe a tiny zone there too. Perfect. Alright, so what are we going to do as far as parks for this area? I think, what would it look the best? Maybe it would be nice to have one around here, right behind the parking lot. Then people could use the parking lot to access the park as well. And I think this is going to be a very simple, or wait a minute, in addition to parks, I want to have some sports fields here too. So I'm going to build those over on the other side a little bit. Sorry for smacking my lips so much, I was just eating some chips earlier. Oh, and it looks like I forgot some more zones here too, so yeah. It really is never overplaying this game. Alright, beautiful. So where are we going to have our sports fields? This is going to be a tough one. I want it to be somewhere that's pretty accessible so that people who have to drive for miles to see their kids' game or something aren't going to have to worry too much. Here, how many tiles is this roughly? 36? Oh, that's kind of a lot. I want it to be more toward this side of things, but I don't want it to be on the main avenue. And yeah. You know what, I'm just going to go for it and build them right here. Actually, let me demolish that real quick, because I'm going to want to make sure that this area has absolutely as many trees as it can fit, and that's a lot that doesn't really play friendly with the tree brush, so I would have to demolish it anyway if I got trees on top of it. Alright, so let's rebuild it really quick, and it looks very nice. Alright, large old plaza. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be using that here. Looks like it might go together with some of those CDK3 plazas that I use a lot in Prospect Bay and Yakutat Bay, though. Yeah, I was thinking for the main part of this area, I really just want to have a nice open grass. Yeah, something like this maybe. And then maybe, yeah, I will. Oh no, I can do things a little bit differently. I don't use this square trail end thing too much, so I might as well use that here. And just have a little path going out to it with a couple benches alongside. There we go. Yeah, I think that will be just fine as kind of a main park for this area. And then I'll have another smaller one over on this side just to make sure that there's plentiful park coverage for everybody. And I'm going to build this one. I might as well build it toward May Avenue again, because why not? And I do want to do something a little bit different, because I don't want to be too repetitive. What are my options? We got one country road, what's that? Yeah, I don't know. That's nothing I installed. There's a bunch of slope wall lots, some fences, JRJ Woods, and that's kind of all there is as far as parks we have installed. I thought we had Serenity Parks installed too. Maybe they're at the very bottom of the parks menu? I totally don't remember. They're small enough that I can... No, they're nowhere to be found. ESC Small Park. How would this one look, I wonder? If I were to... I'll just pop it for a test right there. That's a bit too overblown for this area, I think. You know what, I'm just gonna, instead of like a full-on park here, I think I'm gonna just build a little playground. And it will also be a nice little connection for people living on that cul-de-sac to be able to walk over to the main street without having to go around in a huge loop. Alright, so let's just fill in all the empty spots with trees, and then I will feel safe letting the simulator run. And yeah, that railway, it's gonna, well, that's the job for tomorrow. Oof. I'm getting a new webcam pretty soon too, which should have a much better microphone than the one I've recorded all my 200 or so videos up to this point on. In fact, this might even be my 200th SimCity 4 video, and I'm not even mentioning it until now. My 200th overall, that is. For the first 130 videos or so, I recorded all of the videos as part of the same series, and they all had the same title and everything, but since then I've decided to differentiate them, since nobody wants to sit through 150 really crappy videos with poor audio quality. And frankly, you know, I progressed so much as a player in that time that I almost don't want people even looking at my earlier stuff. I'd rather they just look at more recent uploads to my channel and base their judgments on that. Alright. So I should be able to fit some more trees here. And the shores looks pretty built out, yeah. Maybe around there. Alright, well, tell you what, I'm gonna just pause the recording really quick to save, and then we will run the simulator and watch this whole area develop. Sweet! Alright, let's zoom out and do this thing. What? No power? Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, I guess I do have to plop utilities. I always forget to do that, huh? Let's go see. What am I going to use today? I don't want to do something too ridiculous. Yeah, I still have to build an industrial area in this city, so eventually I'm going to be um, moving all of this utility stuff to there. But for now, I might as well build my permanent water installation over in this neighborhood, since I know it's never going to get too polluted. Let's see if I can find an area with some ugly looking single tile zones. And yeah, right here just about qualifies. And it's only got a couple though. Right there is just as good, honestly. Yeah, I'll just put my water stuff over there. Right, yeah, so that is all I need. And all the neighbor connections are already pretty well established, so there should be no problems with Sims being unable to find jobs because they can just commute from the start. Yeah, I really like how this suburban neighborhood street grid turned out. It's pretty realistic, if I say so myself. And yes, I do say so myself. Alright. Man, everything is zoning in nice and fast. How's demand doing? It's not even that high, honestly, compared to how it usually is in my regions, but hey, it's high enough. Well, I guess I've never turned off the you drive it zots in this city tile. Might as well do that now. Just another form of visual clutter to get rid of. So let me guess, I already have terrible traffic congestion. Not really, just a couple tiny spots that there are backups, and that's before intersections, so it's where you naturally expect backups and where the road is built to handle that kind of thing. Right. Man, this stuff is zoning in really fast. Especially considering that demand is less than 10,000 for residential. Or, well, of any individual type at least. It's probably over 10,000 for all of them. Well, actually, since we aren't using CAM, the demand graph is probably just kind of pretty screwy to start with and inaccurate. So I shouldn't put too much stock into what it says. Anyway, the way I've been doing it recently is pausing my tiles in winter. So I might as well do that here too. Just wait for these tiles to, or these zones to develop first though, before I actually stop. Okay. That's enough for now, wouldn't you say? Oh, there's more coming in. Never mind. Yeah, should I just keep it going for another year? Why not? Why not? Yeah, it looks like people are not really taking this avenue bridge. Yeah, they might learn to eventually. Who knows, maybe not though, it is kind of long and it's a lot less convenient than that neighbor connection right there. And if there are going to be jobs right on the other side, there'll be plenty of residential zones close to those too, so yeah, who knows how that'll turn out. Oof, am I getting a mansion here? Gotta get rid of that. Oh, come on! I can do better than this. Any mansions anywhere else? Oh, it looks like two coming into play over there. God, that's sucky. Alright, let's just wait for these zones to come in, and then I am pausing it before any more mansions ruin my beautiful landscape. And yes, I understand that that's a very different perspective to take on mansions from how most people see them. But anyway, yeah, so this is it for this area. It's looks like I was able to cram just under 10,000 people into this little slice of land, so I say job well done. It's a nice suburb for Pendleton or Baltesia, and eventually we will hook it. This will be a pretty large city in its own right in this tile. Yeah, so I look forward to, in the future, extending this rail line on out. And yeah, that's going to be a bit of a project, it looks like. But it'll be good fun. Alright, yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.